Yo! Before we start, it's going to take a minute to get comfy. Right. Got tagged in a few videos to do like 5 things from the collection. These probably aren't going to be unique items, but they're unique for mine because I've only got one of them. So let's get straight into it. My first one, and I'm quite proud of this because I did get it boxed, is the Japanese PocketStation. So this was a Japan exclusive, and it's actually, if you pop the top here, it opens up and becomes a PS1 memory card. How cool is that? Has a little lanyard strap on. Steady. For you to carry it around. Now the idea with this, with its little D-pad and button here, is that you could actually play games on it on the go, so it acted very much like a little Tamagotchi as well. So they weren't supported very well because not a lot of games used them. They were never released outside of Japan, which makes them quite hard to get, and because that retailer that everybody uses had a cease and desist from Sony on selling things from abroad, you won't get them from them either. Nah. Moving swiftly on. It had a little infrared port on there so you could actually communicate, which I think was for little battle to battles. But I'll be honest, there is data on this. I have not wiped it because it's a snapshot from somebody else's history. I have booted it up and you can plug it into the PS1 and the PS2, and when you plug it in it has a little bit of a doo-doo-doo kind of noise on it, which is different because you don't get that with the regular memory cards, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I love the little thing, and I got this complete with its box, and I think I paid, I think it was 30 quid about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, I love the little thing. At some point I want to do a little plastic restoration on it to see if I can clean it up a little bit because it is yellowing a little bit, but I think a lot of it adds to the charm. Put it that way. Moving swiftly on. Amazing Spider-Man 2 for PS3. I've actually got a sealed one. I was literally running around a shop, a charity shop near to me, and noticed this and the original PS3 Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, and I picked them both up, and it's probably never going to be unwrapped. And it's one of those that I'm probably just going to keep and keep and keep unless somebody offers me $1 million. Maybe. Or maybe not. So yeah. It wasn't really well received, the Amazing Spider-Man games. They came out and they were good for what they were, but there is a lot of hate for those. So I think it makes them quite a desirable pickup, which is why I think they're like 15-20 quid to get hold of complete at the minute. Moving on. Did that the wrong way. I could see the pages, you couldn't, so it really should have been. You can tell I haven't recorded for quite a while. I did busy, don't at me. Cheat books. I'm going to say before the days of the internet loosely, because these came out late 90s and early 2000s, well, probably earlier than late 90s because they were originally in magazines in the late 70s, early 80s onwards, when you had phone-ins so that you could actually call for cheats with this lady that we did not look at as a young person and go, oh, like something from a Carry On film. Yeah. I mean, come on, it says on the back, call me 24/7, I've got what you need. That really did not help in like a 12, 13-year-old me. I'm just like, oh. But anyway, this, I've got about 15, 20 cheat books upstairs. This was one of the ones I picked up that I actually went through, so like the spine is kind of abused, and this has been opened and used quite a bit. I know I used this for GTA quite a bit. So getting all the original codes for Vice City that you then had to burn into your memory because you couldn't YouTube it back in the day. So it was There with me. L1, L2, R1, R2, left, down, right, up, weapon cheat 1, L1, L2, R1, X, I think, left arm, right, up, armour, and then circle was for health, and then the other weapons cheats, I think I got that one wrong. It's L1, L2, R1, R2, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, or left, which was weapon cheat 2, which was always the best one, because if I remember right, it came with a katana. That was always fun. But yeah, we don't really see a lot of these nowadays because everybody can just go straight onto a YouTube vid for a walkthrough or something like that. But there is something about still having these, both from a nostalgia point of view and also from, you know, when you have one of those kind of inklings and you go, I'm going to have a retro session and I'm not going to use YouTube, I'm not going to use walkthroughs, I'm not going to do it in a way that would be done now, I'm solely going to rely on random stuff like this. I feel like it takes you back to a bit of, it's a bit more of an isolated time, but you feel like you've done it yourself, even though you've got these, because you would have had to have bought this, search for the code that you want, put it in, and then ran with it, but at least you felt like you did it yourself. A lot of things now, you just kind of go on YouTube or you go on you know, a random website or something like that and get a code from there, and it doesn't really feel the same. Yeah, anyway, after that dark, depressing episode, on to the next one. This is a loosely gaming thing, but, you know, whatever. The original VHS for the first episode of Beast Wars in the UK, which was a promo item that you can see down here from, I think it says somewhere on there, right there, 1995. I got this, well, I would have been 5 when this came out. So if this was a 95 release, I would have had this at the age of 5, and this came with the Megatron transformer that I'll try and drop an image up here somewhere, that I actually had. A little clip of Megatron. He was a T-Rex. Yeah, I had that. So this came with it as a bit of a bundled item. So this is the entirety of the first episode, and it's actually, considering this hasn't been opened in 2 decades, it's in ruddy, remarkable condition. Need I say more? So, next, what have we got next? I know I said I was going to do 5, but I don't like rules, so screw 5. This, ladies and germs, is what they called Cybiko. Now, early 2000s, so I think 99, 2000 this came out, and the idea with this was, at the time when people were still using Game & Link, my brain's gone, the connecting cable that you would use for Game Boy to Game Boy, so Game Boy Link cable. Sorry, I've just got back from holiday yesterday, so my brain's a bit... when people were still doing that and you had to be kind of this far away from the person to make sure that you were connected and could still play games, this dude came along and kind of went, screw that, I'm going to sit here on, I think it was 900 megahertz RF, to basically say, right, if you can connect to somebody and you're within so many 100 meters rather than, you know, being within kissing distance, you can now play that way, which was pretty cool for the time. And you could put your own little games on here. You could have a little, I think it was a compact flash card that went into the bottom of here that you could pull out and then put things in for expansion stuff. Had its own little power pack in the back, speaker, and what it could do, if you look at the little icons at the top, you had games, you had internet, you had an organizer set up, you had a full QWERTY keyboard. And the idea with this is that this became, because they were pretty big in the 90s and, well, 90s, early 2000s before they started doing that, it actually acted as a personal organizer as well. So the idea with this is that you could use this, and this would be almost a smartphone before smartphones. And on the back, you can see here, it actually says for free games, go to cybiko.com. Interestingly, there are a few people, I think I looked a couple of years ago, that have actually brought the original Cybiko website, as much as they could, back online so that you can download, in a similar way to downloading ROMs, you can download things and put them on here so that you can get it running again. So I remember I had, there was a skateboarding game on here that I had for quite a while, and then there was, because I had this just the complete default setup because I didn't really have access to a PC that much then. And then there was a little Tamagotchi thing with what looked like a Moomin that you kind of fed him, made him do weights and that kind of thing, and it was pretty cool for what it was. The downside was it never really took off that much, and although I had one, I was the only person I knew that had one, which then meant trying to play with someone with one of these was a bit pointless because I didn't know anyone that had one. And this was before anybody got onto MSN or anything like that, so yeah. Great idea, very well executed. I think it was just a bit too early, or potentially not marketed in the right way so that it didn't get into the hands of enough people as it should have done. But as far as a unique item goes, I don't think many other people have got these, and this is one of those things that you just don't find. This was the black and white version. There is a colour version as well that came out, which I think is called Cybiko 2, which is similar to this, bit more of an updated design, and it had a colour screen. But yeah, like the design is just, it's wicked when you think about it. It's got a curved side for you to put your hand around, and then on this side it's actually got a waved design so that you can put your fingers against it. It's quite ergonomic for what it is. It had, at the top here, it had a stylus port, which, considering I was a kid, I probably chewed and snapped at that point. There was a little help button here in this random hole there, you can see, that I got annoyed with as a kid bit and then threw out because I don't need help. What are you on about? Sort this out myself. Probably explains a lot of why I am like I am. Yeah, moving on. That was pretty cool. Don't have the original box for it, but yeah, pretty cool. Next one. Because it has been that long since I had this. Pokemon, the first movie, still bloody covered in dust. This was a packaged item that you got when you bought Pokemon, the first movie, on VHS. So I actually have the VHS as well upstairs, but the idea with this is that it came with this binder for you to put your cards in. And this had been on a bit of a journey with me. So, original Pokemon stickers that I had doubles of for the original sticker album. These ones were Chupa Chups, lollies and bubblegums. These were being given out by my local dentist at the time, so this was basically a reward to go. So you got the stickers, plus you got a lolly which gave you these, which was awesome. From there, I then ended up collecting a number of different things. So you had your Pokemon, and then you also had Digimon. So these came out of cereal boxes at the time, so I had a few of those. I then had the original coin, flip coin, for the original Pokemon trading game when it first came out, along with the original Master the Game cards, which said join the Pokemon trading card game league and take part in lots of fun activities, blah blah blah. And this was your way to go into and challenge people for legit Pokemon matches. From there, I also then collected the original Spider-Man cards. I think there's 2 or 3 in there from the original Spider-Man film. There's the other one. I then ended up going through a Yu-Gi-Oh phase. I had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I then ended up going through a phase where I was collecting booster packs for Yu-Gi-Oh! And this one, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! Lost Millennium, has never been opened, so that's still sealed from like 2000 and let's say 2, 3, whatever it is. There was then also the Topps trading cards for Pokemon, so there were a load of these, so I ended up having those. These were Burger King promo exclusives, so you got like 6 or 9 of them at a time. And the reason they look so rough around the edge is because they actually had a dot strip down the side that you had to rip the cards off, and you got them with your Burger King meals. Spider-Man 2, little 3D thing. We have the Dunkin' bubblegum Pokemon cards as well. I've got a few in there as well. I ran out of space with this and never bought another binder because I couldn't afford it ages ago. So they all just got smashed in together. So they're probably not worth anything other than sentimental value. Spider-Man 2. Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh. Which then, at the point that you had that Pokemon, the first movie purchase, you also got a set of Pokemon cards with it. Excuse me, I'm just doing this slightly off camera. What you got with it was the promo for Mewtwo. See the Warner Brothers symbol at the top. I'm pretty sure I also got Mew with this because I don't remember where else I'd have got it from. A second version of Mewtwo. I then ended up for some reason with 2 Pikachus because it was a random case of which cards you got when you bought the binder, the VHS with the binder. Another Pikachu with a little Warner Brothers symbol at the top, and a little Dragonite. So I ended up buying sleeves to put those in, but then from there I ended up having my favourite Gen 1 Pokemon, Arcanine, because who doesn't love a giant dog that's on fire? Probably came out wrong, but I think it's cool. Gyarados, which was arguably the most OP thing you could ever see in your life. Dark Blastoise. Now this one is, I don't know if it shows on camera, but it is a bent, kind of over-ridged card, so it's got no value to it. When I was in primary school, we tried to set up a Pokemon card club, and the idea, so I've always been entrepreneurial. The idea was that we would, for people giving money into the club, we would buy cards and then give them a random card each week. The idea went totally nowhere, but between the few of us that actually did do it for, you know, however many weeks we did, one of the childhood mates that I had, Ant gave me his Dark Blastoise. So if this video does find you anywhere, Ant, I still have it. And then I always thought Muck was cool as well. Shiny Muck. And then to finish that off, I also then ended up with some original starter decks from Yu-Gi-Oh! It didn't come with... Actually, it did. I had a starter deck for Yugi, if I remember right, Kaiba, and Pegasus. So, Joey deck, Red Eyes Black. Ended up having 2 Dark Magicians for some strange reason over time. Summon Skull. Red Dragon Archfiend came out of something, somewhere, at some point. Ring of Destruction Limited. And Ye Almighty Blue Eyes White Dragon that, if you watch the anime, is made out to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then every time he shows up on screen, somebody comes out with the weakest card possible, with about 14 trap cards, 3 counter cards, 60 million spell cards, that then gives something like Karibo about 12 billion damage, and he just gets nerfed. He gets hated on, he does. It's not fair. So yeah. That be everything that I've got random and kind of unique. There is other stuff up there, but it's going to take me another 6 hours to try and get into the spare room to get them out. The only other thing I picked up recently was this. Now, ignore the random bits of chocolate on it. I think my granddaughter's been around and gone, This is a 20-year Forza Motorsport hat, which I think is to do with the release of 5 Horizons. I actually got this from a car manufacturer based on a tie-up that they did. I won't say which car manufacturer it is, but they are a UK-based one. Do have a lot of cars in there and have a long-standing kind of partnership with Forza. So they had a sale on site recently when they do like a change of season to get rid of some of the old stuff, and I saw this and I was just like, how many of these have you got? They're like, oh, we only have the one. Nobody else is going to have one of these with the story that it's come from an actual car manufacturer for the actual partnership. So I know these were given away on an Xbox exclusive kind of merch deal a while ago, but this one came from the actual car manufacturer based on the actual partnership they've got with the company. It's not getting cooler than that, is it? It's just not. Why not? Because I can. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the ridiculously long video. I'm now going to spend about 6 hours editing it so I can put random things up here for people to enjoy. I remember why I don't do videos anymore now. Anyway, if you made it through to the end, I hope you all have a good Christmas and a New Year, because my workload has done this at actual work. So I don't get time to do this as much as I do now. I still watch the videos that you guys put out and try and interact as much as I can. But putting new content out there is getting difficult for me at the minute. I'm hoping I should have some more time next year, but yeah, working for a car manufacturer is challenging. Winter time is my peak testing time, so I am literally starting at like 7, 8 in the morning and then working all the way through till about 8, 9 o'clock at night to then come back home, collapse through the door and then do the same thing again. So yeah, I'm a bit at the minute, but hope you all stay retro, and if you need anything, reach out. If you want anything sourcing, reach out. There are a lot of things that I am trying to do in the background in terms of bringing new features. I might do a complete revamp to the actual store and the website when I'm off over Christmas, because I want to do a bit of a business pivot on what I'm doing. But you'll see more about that as it goes. There are a certain few of you that will know ahead of time, but other than that, what I will say is stay retro.